welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, Mary Trimble, and I'm here with your readings for June the 17th through June the 23rd. So listen, thank you for all the likes, shares, comments and new subscribers. I really appreciate you. If you're new, I hope you enjoy these readings and that you will return again next week. If you are returning, thank you. Guys, I really appreciate your love and support of this channel. Thank you so much. These are general readings, guys, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Please don't assume that everything I say here is applicable to you and your life. If you would like a more in-depth, personal, more tailored reading, then go to my website. The link will be below and you can see the types of readings that I offer. And there's a range of prices to accommodate everyone. Now, another way you can support this channel is by checking out my Patreon page. I post things on there that I don't post anywhere else, though I have to admit this last week I have been a little laxy-daisy in posting anywhere, actually. That's a story in and of itself. But I do, so check out my Patreon page. You can support this channel for as little as $1 a month. Actually, even little if you want to just do a one-time donation. And no donation is too small. It's all really helpful. And you know, and it's okay if you can't do that too. You know, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends and family or on social media. Now, I also have a Facebook group, guys, and it's a closed group. If you can, the link to join that group is below in the show more section. In fact, all the links are below. The links to the other videos are below. Everything should be below. All the links to the videos, all the other videos, if you're checking out your sun, moon and rising. These readings come in 3 sections. The intro, which is this, and then the weekly astrological aspects, and then the tarot reading. So if you're checking out your sun, moon and rising, you can skip the intro and the astrology section, and those timestamps will also be below. Now, what do I have to do? Yeah, in my group, every 2 weeks I do a live feed, and you know, and I do kind of astrology for what's going on in the day, and then I, you know, have my cards and I do readings. So it's fun. Join the Facebook group and we discuss, you know, you can post something in there, you know, that's uplifting and positive, and we'll all love that. I am releasing, I am starting a course, a 4-week course on how to meet your spirit guide. I will be releasing that in the next week or so. I'll be releasing the date. The first ever course will be an interactive course. I will be present, you'll be present. We'll do it in a 4-week section, 1 hour each week, 1 evening. So we will, you know, that information, it's really inexpensive for a 4-week course. That's, you know, that the information on that will be, go to my website, you'll see it. And so I'll be releasing a promo for more information on that shortly, and you can check that out. And other than that, hey, let's go to your reading, shall we? Hello and welcome to the astrology section of your reading for the 17th through the 23rd. Now, Monday, June the 17th, the full moon in Sagittarius happens at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, the full moon is when the sun is opposite the moon and illuminating it. That's why it's so, such a beautiful, it's directly opposite, so it's beautiful and luminous. And full moons shed a light on the truth. It kind of lights up an area of your life that needs addressing. Now, the moon receives that lovely light from the sun's giving the light. The sun is in Gemini, right? So this full moon is about communication. Gemini rules communication. Now, the moon is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is also about the truth, right? So, and it can be about litigation, the legal system, and injustice. Look, Sagittarians can tell you the truth in such a way that it can be offensive sometimes, because it's really, one might say, the brutal truth, right? Brutal honesty. So Sagittarius is about being truthful, right? And the moon is about showing you the truth. So there will be an area, it depends on where this full moon happens in your natal chart as to how it will affect you and which area of life it will affect you. Now, this is a karmic full moon, and full moons are always about completions, endings, and letting go, right? So perhaps we need to think about how we can release our karmic debt. And it's also about, you know, making the right decisions so that we're not accruing more karma, and that we are, you know, sloughing off the karmic debt that we have accrued in the past. The moon in Sagittarius is about idealism, sensitivity, and compassion, right? And it's relatively close to Jupiter in Sagittarius, and that Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and it's about optimism, positivity, faith, religion, and philosophy. We might be redefining our beliefs during this time, and perhaps there's a change in our belief system, or, you know, it's kind of shifted somewhat. I'm not saying a drastic change in, you know, your belief system, but it could have kind of shifted a lot. It might have got more deeper and more meaningful. And this change has probably been coming around for a little while now. It might be a good idea to ask yourself, what has changed for you? What has come to fruition that you perhaps planted a seed of at the new moon a few weeks ago? The energy around this full moon will be really intense, that it's so intense that you may feel a little restless at times. So you could be longing for adventure or long distance travel, perhaps even a spiritual retreat might be on your mind. Listen, we need to make choices that release karma, and we really don't want to accrue any more. So do your best not to judge others, and respect where they are at in their journey. Neptune will be playing a big role this week also. It has for a little while now already, but we'll talk more about Neptune in a moment. So it's really important to practice sensitivity, compassion during this full moon. Tap into that sensitivity, and it is about idealism. It's about, you know, helping others. How can we help others? How can we help the collective? That's what we need to be asking ourselves. It's kind of an exciting time, I think. Now, on Wednesday, Mercury gets really up close and comfortable with Mars. It feels like the pace is picking up, right? Things kind of move a little faster. You're more inspired. You know, your mental energy and acuity is abundant. So you're really on point. Now, you could kind of have aggressive language and perhaps and sarcastic communication could be likely. There may not be any filter from what you think to what you say. You know, that can occur. And look, this is really great for journalists and reporters, because you get right to the point really fast and, you know, quick without any messing around. You can be a little impatient during this time, like, oh, you know, you're thinking quick, you want the answers quick, that kind of energy. Now, on Friday, the sun moves into Cancer. Yay! Happy birthday, Cancer! Now, on this day, it is also the summer solstice. It's like the midsummer, right? It's the longest day of the year. It's when the sun is at the highest point. And so, therefore, the day is really long. So there's something to celebrate. Now, also on Friday, Neptune stations retrograde. Now, this is like your mind playing tricks on you. It's kind of confusion. It's a bit foggy. It's dreamy. You know, pay attention to your dreams, both during the day and at night. And be aware that you can go off in your head, right? Because, you know, when the planet's been slowing down for a little while now, Neptune. So creativity and, you know, and spirituality and intuition and psychic ability are all at play. You know, interest in the occult, like, you know, tarot and astrology is very, you know, people are very interested in that right now. It kind of feels like molasses, like you're walking in molasses. It feels like you don't get anything done. You feel it's a very distracting kind of energy. The best way to channel this is through creativity. You know, writing a story, writing, you know, visual arts, you know, video, anything that's kind of creative. That's how you channel this energy, and that's how you get the most of it. That's co-creating with it, right? Now, on Sunday, the 23rd, Venus opposes Jupiter. You could be spending a little too much time in the mirror, darling. It's very kind of, it's vanity oriented, right? It's very important how you look. You want to look fabulous. You want to feel, it's that kind of energy where you take people for granted and you take situations for granted. So it's like a feeling of entitlement. Just be aware of that. Be aware not to get too egocentric during this time, or, you know, I'm better than you, holier than thou, you better love me and you better do what I deserve it. Darling, it's very that. So luxury is appreciated, beauty, art, you know, that's perhaps where you should channel that. Not looking in the mirror, but looking at something beautiful like art, you know, listening to a beautiful music. That's where you can channel this energy. Okay, guys, let's go to your card, shall we? Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your tarot card section of your reading for the 17th, June the 17th through June the 23rd. I have been shuffling. I've been distracted. I've been shuffling for ages off screen. I'm like in La La Land. One more time for the camera. Okay. What wonderful blessings, guidance, and helpful information can you give Gemini for this coming week? 3 cards for Gemini, please. 3 cards. 2 more. Oh, 1 more card for Gemini, please. 1 more card for Gemini. 1 more card for... There it is. Okay. And let's go to your clarifying cards, which I've also shuffled our screen. I'll do 1 more time for you. Okay. Please clarify. Oh, 2 came out for that. Please clarify the... Okay. And please clarify... There it is. Very interesting. Okay, let's look at your card, shall we? Now, the first card out is the Lover's card. Then clarifying the Lover's card is the 4 of Swords and the 8 of Cups. Then you have the 5 of Pentacles. Clarifying the 5 of Pentacles is the 10 of Swords. Then you have the 7 of Pentacles. Clarifying that is the Judgment card. That's come up for a lot of, for quite a few readings. So there might be some crossover there for you. Okay, so Gemini. You have the Lover's card here. And it's interesting, we do have Venus in your sign, Gemini, this week, or this month. Now, the Lovers card can represent a decision that needs to be made. And I'm going to go straight on to your clarifying cards because I feel that that's the decision that you have at hand. Now, I do love this Lovers card because it's a very passionate kind of card. It's, you know, there's a light shining on them. They're in full passion, right? Now, you have clarifying it, the Four of Swords. And right next to it is the Eight of Cups. And I am getting this very strongly that some of you are in relationships and you're kind of tired of this relationship and you feel that there's something more meaningful out there. I feel that you are exhausted from it, and maybe there's some jealousy coming up for you from someone else, from your lover. Look, this isn't for everyone, so don't panic and think that this is for you. As I said, that this comes through for some people that really need to hear it. And this is definitely, and you know, that can be Venus in Gemini. I have, my Venus is in Gemini, and you know, Venus will, it's not that Gemini doesn't cheat. Gemini just does not want to be held down or locked down or restricted in any way. They want to be free. They want to flirt. You know, they'll stay with you as long as it's fun. But when it becomes heavy, they want to move on, and they get tired and exhausted from having to explain where they've been, what they're doing, where they're going, how they feel. They want to keep it light and breezy a lot of the time, Geminis. And they really, you know, so some of you are feeling like you want something more meaningful out of life, and this relationship isn't working for you. Now, this could be a friendship too, or a business relationship. You know, apply it to whatever area of life that this works, that this makes sense to you. But I get a feeling of exhaustion from this relationship, and it's almost like you just want to walk away from it. You want to walk away emotionally. You may have already walked away emotionally. You've turned your back on it, but you have to actually make the decision of whether you're going to move on or try to work it out. How I see you moving on, I feel that you've already moved on emotionally. You just have to physically move out of the relationship. That's what I'm getting. Now, and maybe you're not feeling the love that you desire in this relation. Maybe you're not getting the passion that you want. And you've got, the next card you've got is the Five of Pentacles, and this is deprivation. You probably are really reevaluating, or maybe not even reevaluating or reassessing your belief system, like a lot of us during this time. But the Five of Pentacles is about being in deprivation, and it could be deprivation of love, it could be deprivation materialistically for some of you. I'm getting fulfillment. I feel that a lot of you aren't feeling fulfilled in your life. You're not kind of happy with where your life is at. And you're feeling like you can't get out of that. This is the thing. You have the Ten of Swords clarifying the Five of Pentacles, right? And this is indicating the end of all that. You've been through a very difficult time. You're not feeling valued in the world. You don't feel impassioned, or you don't feel fulfilled. And it's a spiritual, perhaps, fulfillment that you are not feeling. And the Ten of Swords, you know, tens are endings and beginnings, right? So this is saying that that's coming to an end, that things are changing for you. Like a lot of us, things are changing. Now, what's interesting is you have the Seven of Pentacles, and this is about looking at the books, reassessing about how much work you have put into something, and have you got back what you've put into it? So if this is a relationship, have you got back from this relationship what you've put in? If this is a job, have you got this back? If this is, if this is a business, whatever it is, you're being asked to reassess and go in and take a look at what's happening there. Really look at the books, balance the books. You may have to tweak it. You may have to move on completely. But what's interesting is you have the Judgment card. And the Judgment card is a call to duty. And this is a higher calling. Look, you could be called into your life purpose. This could give you a more meaningful existence, which may be what you are looking for. This could be you reassessing and kind of changing somewhat your belief system. Maybe it's deepening, and maybe that's why you're feeling that you don't, you aren't happy with the relationship that you're going through right now, that you're in. Things are going to come up for you and you're going to see your path. I feel Neptune is very kind of spiritual, if you will, and it will bring up some things for us. And this new moon, this full moon in Sagittarius is going to bring up spirituality for us, intuition, psychic ability, maybe areas of study that you can go in. There's a change on the table for you, Gemini, and I feel that it's a decision that you need to make to move on. You know what that decision is. You know that you have to make it. And, go inside. That's where the answer is. The answer is within. You know what you want. But there's some kind of confusion and maybe some trepidation and a little fear of not, of moving on and making this decision, perhaps. Gemini, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with friends and family or social media, comment. I live for comments and feedback. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.